everybody, Kathy at Northstar Prepsteader. Well, I'm back in the kitchen today, and one of the things I need right now is some barbecue sauce. Now the stuff that you buy on the shelves is just full of things that I can't eat. It's got high fructose corn syrup, it's got gluten, it's got all kinds of things. So anyway, there is an excellent recipe that I use, and it was created by Danielle Walker from Against All Grain. You have to check her out. I put a link below for her recipe, and I'll walk you through this. So I hope you try this out, enjoy it. It's so easy to make, and you can double or triple the recipe if you need to. One of the first things you have to do is soak your dates. Now the dates I have on hand right now are these kind of, well, they're diced and they're put in rice flour. They're Deglet Noor dates, which are very good dates, and they're from California. I have a very good friend out in California who likes to send these to me every so often, and I just got these at Christmas. But anyway, they're not real hard, but they're not that soft either. And the one thing that's good is that they're in rice flour, so if you have any gluten allergies, these are excellent. I really like medjool dates, but these are great to have on hand because they last so long and they freeze really well. So anyway, I needed 3 ounces of dates, which came to about 2/3 of a cup. And so I put them in here, and then you're supposed to add warm water to it and let them soak for 15 minutes. You can see how well they're already very softened and everything. So what I would do is, if you eat oatmeal or anything like that, I would save that liquid and use that to cook your oatmeal with. That is date juice there. But I don't eat oatmeal, so I'm just going to drain this off because these are softened. You don't need to rinse these at all, they're very soft. Alright, so you can go ahead and add those to your blender. Okay, I like to add the dates first so that the blades can work on grinding those up. And then I'm going to add a pint jar of homemade tomato sauce from my garden. That is sealed very well. And 1/4 of a cup of tomato paste. 1/4 of a cup of water. Doing 1/2 a cup of apple cider vinegar. Okay, 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos. Now this is like a soy sauce replacement, but it's coconut base. Then 1.5 teaspoons of liquid smoke. That gives it a real nice barbecue-y, smoky flavor. And then we have 1 teaspoon of sea salt. 1 teaspoon of paprika. 1 teaspoon of chili powder. 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Oh, I'm really low on this. I need to make some more. I do make my own mustard, but I think I can scrape a teaspoon out of here. There we go. Got a teaspoon here. 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice. 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And 1/2 teaspoon of minced garlic. I put the cover on, blend it on high for 3 minutes until smooth. all done blending. It's actually warm. You can see it's pretty thick. At this point, you could put it on the stove. Danielle's recipe actually calls for putting it on the stove and then reducing it by about half. But I worked too hard for these tomatoes, growing them in the garden, and I don't want to waste any of it. And for me, my uses, it is actually plenty thick. It covers everything. Like you put it on ribs, it does just fine. You know, if you really like a really thick barbecue sauce, then certainly reduce it down. And I'm just going to put it in here and put it in the fridge for a while, probably overnight. And then tomorrow, what I'll do is I will fill the silicone muffin pan and make like little pucks of the barbecue sauce in either a 1/4 cup or a 1/3 cup size, depending on what it fills in there and how big your thing is. And then I'll put this in the freezer, and then when you have these pucks all frozen, you can take them out, put them in a Ziploc baggie, and then you have them for when you just need a little bit of barbecue sauce for like one item. Maybe you want to put it on a hamburger or add it to something so you get that spice. But that's what I'll do, is I'll just fill all these. Like I said, I'm going to wait for this to cool down, and so in the meantime, I'm just going to put it all in here and then put that in the fridge. I have canned this also. It cans very, very well. It freezes well. It will last in the refrigerator for a good 10 days, up to 2 weeks. There I go. I've got my jar of homemade Paleo BBQ sauce. And as you saw, the only sweetener in it is actually dates. There's nothing else. There's no honey, which you could add, but there's no high fructose corn syrup or anything like that. So there you go, some homemade barbecue sauce that you can add to whatever you want. You know, you could just add it to some pasta, you could add it to your spaghetti sauce, you could add it whatever you want, whatever you normally use barbecue sauce for. So anyway, you guys, thanks so much for being in the kitchen with me again. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, God bless. Always have hope. Bye.